Hello, it's Philip Taylor from Richmond Green Chambers speaking, and I'm looking at Cook on Costs 2011 by Michael Cook. This is the book here from LexisNexis Butterworths, just under 900 pages long. You see the front page, and then there's some information on the back. It's described as the seminal textbook on costs, and in fact that's exactly what it is. You've got the usual stuff, lots of cases at the front, then a structuring of the book in terms of various parts and chapters with practice actual reference numbering at the sides there rather than actually on the other side, so you've got to look on indented to find the actual numbering of the paragraphs. Then at the back you've got an index. It's a heavy book, seems to have grown a little bit in the last year or so, but that's not surprising with the changes. We've given it the title as a Flickr review which Elizabeth and I have written, and we've given it the title The Full Statement of Costs for the Second Decade of the 20th Century, and that's what this annual title is all about. Of course, it's a big issue for the new coalition government, which is legal services. What are they going to cost? What should they cost in 2011? How are costs determined? Where do you go for authoritative, well-informed, reliable advice? Bearing in mind the Jackson review has taken place and we don't quite know what's going to happen with that. Well, whether you're a solicitor, barrister, draftsman, judge, whatever, your first port of call will inevitably, in our view, be this book from Michael Cook. It's easily the least formidable, in our view, book on costs, and therefore I think it's one that's actually quite readable. Michael Cook's long been known for his expertise in this complicated area of law, and inevitably it lends itself all too often to dissension and dispute when the issue of costs is raised. But here you've got an up-to-date view from Michael Cook, which is authoritative and easily accessible as a work, and it focuses on the practical aspects of costs and also gives you an idea about some of the issues that come out. It's thoroughly and comprehensively written each year by Michael Cook to cover the entitlement, the quantification of contentious and non-contentious legal business and how much it costs, and he does that brilliantly. Private and public funding, of course, of litigation are bound to be controversial, especially with massive cuts, over 300 billion on some estimates from the Legal Aid Fund. So therefore we've got some indication of difficulties to come. The Law Society president in the past, Michael Napier, put it succinctly in our view when he said that the funding of litigation, whether the case can be funded and who pays what at the end, has become a new and essential skill for litigators everywhere. And I will say that is the case, possibly especially if you're a barrister doing a relatively, say, short case in the county court. Costs are going to be quite important, and you must always remember to put and weigh up a certain amount of time for that element of it, because quite often the clients, it's the one thing that makes the clients very nervous. Cook on Costs has been with us since 1991, and as I say, it's now an annual helping. It steers us our way through the costs maze very efficiently and effectively, and as I say, Michael Napier has added to that by saying that due to the dizzying pace of change, and he recalls the changes from the end of the Law Lords, the creation of the Supreme Court and so on, that this book itself gives you some guidance as to where we're going, rather than looking at some of the other works which are very good, but they don't quite have that little gloss that Michael Cook has. So let me just conclude by saying Cook on Costs 2011 remains an invaluable work of reference across the legal profession. It's something I would not do without. It's well worth taking with you if you've got any issues when you have a trial where every single bit of the work of the trial is going to be up for an argument. Bring this along with you and I'm sure it will help. Thank you very much indeed anyway to Michael Cook and to LexisNexis for an excellent book for 2011. Thank you. Bye bye.